So, you want to know how to play Star Wars Movie Battles 2. Whether you've just heard about it or are getting into the game already and have no idea what's going on, this video is for you. This will be the first of a series of videos that I will make on basically every class of Movie Battles 2. This tutorial will help any new player get started and ready to learn the game. In Movie Battles 2, your health is represented by the circle at the bottom left of the screen. The left of the circle has a red bar that represents your normal HP, and the right of the circle shows armor, if your class has it. Armor health provides a small resistance bonus against lightsabers, but it can be damaged through by special means such as normal melee and poison. No matter how much armor you have, if your red health bar reaches 0, you're finished. The bottom right circle has a variety of purposes that will be discussed in later videos. While on the topic of health, an important mechanic that needs to be discussed is friendly fire. Unlike most multiplayer games of today, if you shoot your teammates, you will deal damage to them. Every time you damage or kill a teammate, you will get TK points. These points stay with you even after multiple rounds and only fully diminish at the end of a game. If too many TK points are accumulated, you are booted from a round. If you receive even more, you can be kicked from the server. Do not fret, though. Hitting or even killing a couple teammates by accident happens sometimes. Just make sure to be accurate with your shots and grenades. When someone team kills you, a menu will show up with the culprit's name and 3 options: punish, forgive, and dismiss. If you choose forgive, the player will receive a reduced number of TK points. If you punish, the TK points given will be greater. If you dismiss the menu or let it sit too long, a moderate number of points will be added to the player. Only choose punish when trolls come along, and use forgive to players who didn't mean to. In cases where you cannot tell, just dismiss the menu. A very important mechanic that must be introduced is the class configuration system. Every character gets a different number of points that they can spend on abilities and upgrades. The gameplay for each class is heavily customizable, and even if there are usually only 2 or 3 best combinations of skills, many wacky setups can be viable. One of these setups will even get its own video later down the line. More gameplay mechanics and basics will be introduced later. For now, controls and how to get into servers are our next priority. Before beginning to play the game, you have got to bind some important keys. The class configuration key is in the Movie Battles section of the controls. Binding this is, as you can guess, very important. The other keys that you want to bind are Class Ability 1 and 2. Make sure that you bind them to easily accessible keys. You may also want to bind Use key to something much more reachable than Enter. Here are my controls. You don't have to use these, but they are a good template to get your build started. Movie Battles 2 still has an active community and, depending on your location, has a plethora of servers to choose from. Players not familiar with this server selection style might be a bit intimidated, but don't worry, you should be able to join any server that isn't password locked without any problems. Most servers are run by clans that are usually pretty cool people. These servers have different conduct rules, so choose them at your discretion. The only notable clan that I will mention specifically is TR. All of TR's servers that I have visited have very few rules or no rules at all. TR Death Star is consistently the most filled server in the Western region, so it's always a tempting option to play on it. Still, beware going there unless you're willing to put up with abundant vulgarity, chat spammers, and team killers that usually have their TK points cleared by admins. Most servers are just fine to pop in and play at, so I just wanted to warn you about that. Movie Battles 2 currently has 3 game modes: Open, Duel, and Full Authentic. Duel and Full Authentic are basically side modes, with Open being the main game. Open mode has 2 different sides with 7 classes each. The game is divided into rounds, and you win the game by winning enough of these rounds depending on the server settings. Winning a round is done by eliminating all opponents or completing the map's objective. You only have a limited amount of lives per round, depending on your class. Duel mode is a lot more straightforward. In duel mode, you can only choose Jedi and Sith, sides that matter in the game mode, but you are given 3 lives. You get back your 3 lives after a short period of being unable to spawn if you lose all of them. This time does increase as you die more, but it caps out after a bit. If one team loses all their lives at once, the other side wins, but this barely ever happens unless the server is a 1v1. Objectives usually do not matter on dual servers as long as they are using the appropriate maps. Full Authentic is the most varied and unpredictable game mode of the 3. Instead of the classic class configuration point system that you use in open mode, the classes are put into preset modes based on the map. Classes here can have crazy abilities that aren't found in open mode because of how ridiculous they are. Some of the more powerful classes even have a limited number of slots. If you select a class that has max players, you will be put on a waiting list. Some maps aren't even Star Wars related, based on things such as the Metal Gear and Halo franchise, and have reskinned the guns and, the player models to simulate those games in some ways. To join a game after you enter a server, press the escape key, then click on Join. After that, click on the side you want to join. The proper etiquette is usually to join the side with less players, and choose your class. Click on the skin you want, and you'll spawn next round. One more thing before I finish. Since Movie Battles 2 is based on a very old game, and a very old multiplayer engine, the default connection settings are a bit outdated for newer PCs. You can optimize your connection in the setup by using these settings on screen. For more information, visit the in-game library. It's outdated for many things, but it can help you for setting. This tutorial series will be structured in a way to introduce new mechanics as time goes on. You need to know how each character plays and feels in order to beat them, after all. Star Wars Movie Battles 2 is a bit of a difficult game to start playing. The mod has been out for more than 15 years, and many players have been playing the game for years upon years and thousands of hours. Newbies that come will be squashed multiple times, very violently. And after 300 plus hours of playing the game, I finally feel like I'm at a average skill level. Don't lose heart though. The game is very rewarding, fun, and it's very replayable. Remember, get up after you're knocked down and keep going. This is the Ranger 1245. See you next video.